said to him, I have never seen doctors so worried, so stressed, and so angry about this. This will have a disastrous impact on the medical profession, not just in Ontario, but across the country. So as you know, doctors run small businesses, at least most doctors do. Some are on salary, some work in hospitals and only work in hospitals, but most of us run small businesses. So what that means is we have office staff, we rent space, we buy technology, we upgrade that technology, and we hire staff. You cannot attack doctors without harming patient care. And that's the message you need to take out of here. I want you to feel sorry for me, but from experience, most of you probably won't feel sorry for me, and that's okay, that's okay. I'm really happy with my job. I think we have an honor to serve patients, but what you need to take from this room is that cuts to doctors, whether in the form of tax increases or fee cuts, will harm patient care. And I'm going to tell you exactly how that happens. So just to be clear, incorporation was given to physicians. Ultimately in 2004, the legislation changed shortly thereafter in lieu of fee increases. So the provincial government couldn't give us a fee increase, so they allowed us to incorporate instead. Other provinces have allowed physicians to incorporate since the 1970s, so Ontario was one of the last ones to do it. So how will this impact patient care? I have an op-ed coming out very shortly on this. 3 ways. First, you'll notice a change in your doctor's office. So doctors use their corporations to renovate their offices, to purchase new equipment. My ECG machine just broke down last week. We're not fixing it because we can't afford to fix it. So offices, equipment, staff. So what you'll notice is probably more rundown offices. See that in other countries. Hopefully it doesn't have to happen here. You will have less access to technology in your doctor's office, which means you then will have to travel to a lab and get that test done somewhere else, which ultimately costs you more and the system more. And finally, you'll have fewer staff there to serve you. So you think you have grumpy, burnt out staff at your doctor's office right now? Wait until these changes go through. So that's the first change that will happen. The second change is doctors will be forced to provide different services. So we live in a competitive environment. This is exactly the same thing you saw at the end of the 1990s. Doctors avoided primary care. They went into emergency medicine, sports medicine, hospitalist medicine. We did anything we could. I'm a primary care doc. I, my colleagues, did anything we could to avoid opening a doctor's office. And because of that, we had 1.2 million orphaned patients at the end of the 1990s. You cannot attack doctors without patients feeling the impact. And that's what you're going to see again here now, as people start to avoid primary care and go into places where they don't have to pay so much overhead. Finally, doctors will change their career plans. And this is what people talk about first. They say, oh, there'll be a brain drain. People will move to the States. Okay, some will. That takes time. That doesn't happen right away. It's not easy to pull up your roots. We have families here. I've been in Ontario my whole life. I can't just run off to another province or to another country. What you will see happen is that docs who can retire will retire. You don't get people to work harder by punishing them for working harder. We need doctors to work harder for our patients. We need them to be eager to get up in the middle of the night to see a sick patient in the emergency department. What is the incentive after they've done that night after night after night, and now they know they're going to be punished more for working harder? It just, eventually, docs say, maybe I should spend time with my family, like my counselor has been telling me to do, like my physician health people, right? So maybe we should have good relationships. Maybe we should have well-balanced lifestyles. And that will mean less care available for you. Now, one final comment. Some people have said, well, maybe this will make the docs work harder because they want more money. Let me tell you something. You do not want that kind of work out of doctors. Those doctors who are so in debt, they're paying alimony payments, or they're so desperate to work harder, you don't want to really see that kind of doc because they don't want to see you. They're seeing you because the government has made the situation where they have to see you. So the bottom line message, and I've said it about 3 or 4 times, you cannot attack doctors without patients feeling the impact. And so that, as well as all the things Melissa said, are why we are strongly opposed to it. 70% of docs are incorporated in Ontario, 29,000 practicing physicians, 20,500 of us are incorporated. So this will have a massive impact on the medical profession.